Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today we're going to take a look at this 2020 version of the Volkswagen Passat. And even though it hasn't received a lot of changes since 2012, there are some changes for the 2020 model year, and here is what they are. Refreshed exterior styling and an updated interior. More torque for the turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and added driving assistance and a few luxury features as well. This is actually a refreshed version, the 4th generation of the Passat. One thing you won't find for the 2020 model year of the Passat is the former 6-cylinder engine that made more horsepower than does this 4-cylinder. What exactly can you expect as far as numbers go? Take a look on the screen to find out for yourself. What about the pros and cons for the Passat? Well, let's go over that real quick. The back seat and rear trunk area are fairly roomy, unless you decide to kind of lean your head back, as you can see happened with my experience on the screen. The quality from the sound system, or the optional Fender sound system, is actually very impressive, but the touchscreens are smaller than those of the competitors. The transmission is sluggish, and you'll see that on my test drive in just a little while as far as its shifting, and the driving engagement is a little bit on the boring side. What about safety features with the Passat? Take a look for yourself. And I guess Volkswagen wanted this particular trim level to be a little more sporty than others. That's why you have the little rear spoiler right here. In fact, let me put on the screen all of the different trim levels and what their base price is. And as I open the rear trunk here, you can see that I have some of my gear back here, the drone bag and some other stuff. And here are the numbers as far as what you can expect for cargo space. Now, when it comes to lowering the rear seats, which that is a 60-40 split, you can do either side or both, but don't go looking on the interior for the release. They're actually found here on each side of the trunk, as I'm showing you on your screen right now. But for this particular class of vehicle, that's actually not a bad amount of cargo space. And as we start our tour of the front seat area, there is a reasonable amount of space up here. The seats are nice and comfortable, and there are multiple options as far as the interior materials go. The steering wheel itself, nice and comfortable. Of course, there is a very nice dashboard here. And you have the steering wheel mounted controls, although it's not super high-tech here. The infotainment screen seems a little outdated just based on some of what I've seen in the past. But I will say something that's very interesting here. You have a sunroof right here. It is a power sunroof, and it's controlled via this switch right here. And depending on how you turn that, you can open it all the way, or you can open it in stages, which is actually quite interesting, as you can kind of just bump it back bit by bit depending on how far you turn the dial. I guess if you don't want it open all the way, well, you don't have to open it all the way. Now, one thing that I also find interesting here, of course, you do have kind of an old school style shifter here in a way. It's nothing push button or anything like that. You do have drive and sport mode. You also have, even though you may not be able to hear that very well, an old-fashioned parking brake. It's not an electronic parking brake or anything like that, just the old-fashioned type that we've seen for many, many years, if you want to call it that. Just kind of an interesting observation. There are a couple of cup holders, and you do have the center console here. It's not necessarily abundant with space, but there is a little bit of space in there if you wish to store something. And the one thing I will say, I like the fact that the armrest here on the driver's side, that is pretty comfortable, padded pretty well. This one's not quite as much, but it's not a solid material. It still has a little bit of give to it. So it is comfortable, although for me personally, I would like to see that maybe be a little bit higher. Of course, I could lower the power driver's seat to accommodate that if I wanted to. So how about, let's take a true test drive here. I know I've talked a little bit about what this Passat does. We're going to actually take it out on the road here. And as you can hear, the road noise, well, it's not terrible, but it's not exactly quiet. And of course, we're on a fairly smooth road here, so to be able to hear the road noise that we hear, well, obviously that pretty much gives you a generalized idea of what we're dealing with. But still, it's by far not the worst I've ever experienced. Now, the one thing I have to say that definitely gives the Passat an A+, I have to do a really very high number, 9 out of 10, maybe close to a 10 out of 10. Watch as we go over these railroad tracks. I don't know if you can really tell on the video, but that is actually very, very smooth. In fact, I have been highly impressed overall with the smoothness of the ride. The ride quality of the Passat has been very enjoyable. But I must admit that overall the driving experience is not very engaging, which means it's not exactly the most enjoyable thing. But if you're looking for a vehicle that definitely rides very, very well and is going to be good on gas, well, this would probably be it. Now, one thing I do find very interesting here while driving this model of vehicle is that when I let my foot off the brake pedal, when I depress the brake pedal, it tends to stick a little bit. And I don't know if that's just something that's unique to this particular model. I've never driven one of these Volkswagen Passats before, so I don't know if that's something that's common, or maybe for whatever reason it's just this particular model. If you know, tell me down in the comments. But if you recognize where we are, we're on my road, my favorite road to do test drives. And of course, this little bridge right here gives us a good experience on how well the Passat rides, which is obviously very impressive, at least in my personal opinion. You still notice the undulations and all that kind of stuff on the road, but ultimately the driving experience is a lot of fun. And handling is not really meant to be sports car-like, of course, in a car like this, but if you're cruising around and just want to have a little bit of fun, it will take the corners somewhat well. I'm just going to kind of cruise through here at a leisurely pace. I'm not going super duper fast, but I have to say I'm actually very impressed. I'm trying to accelerate out of the corner here a little bit. Yeah, I'm actually very impressed with that. But overall, the Passat, I have to describe it as a car that's comfortable, that has a decent amount of room, decent amount of cargo space. It's going to give you good gas mileage, and it's not going to let you down. It's going to get you around town or on a road trip consistently. You really don't have anything to worry about. So let's face the facts. The Volkswagen Passat may not have the best personality in its segment. It may not be the most stylish, and definitely not the best when it comes to high performance. But that doesn't mean there aren't some positives. Those positives include the fact that it does have a spacious and comfortable interior, and it has some of the best technology and driver aids in its segment. So if you're looking for a vehicle that's not going to necessarily break the bank as far as its cost, it's going to get you around comfortably and reliably. It's going to save you some money on gas. This is definitely something you should consider looking at. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel just yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys, because at 25,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a $250 gift card to Amazon. So I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and don't forget to tell me in the comments what you want to see me review next on Vehicle Visionary.